Tonight, on a special Last Call Presents Doctor Who, the final 3 episodes of the Daleks. The Doctor and his friends realise that their only chance of recovering the fluid link is to persuade the Thals to fight back against the Daleks. Then, while Ian, Barbara and their Thal friends try to find a way into the Dalek city through the mountains, the Doctor, Susan and Aladdin attempt to make their own way in. And in the conclusion, Ian, Barbara and the surviving members of their party try to find a way into the Dalek city, whilst Aladdin prepares the other Thals for an attack. But only the Doctor and Susan are aware of the full extent of the threat the Daleks pose. It's a longer presentation tonight, so let's get started right away.
That is an absolute lie. Sorry, wrong intro. That was last week's intro. This week is The Edge of Destruction, which is a 2-parter and actually, normal size presentation tonight. So less than an hour. So it's not such a rush that we have to get into it tonight. Which gives me an opportunity to say hi to every single one of you here in the chat. Boy, you guys just kind of poured in. For a little while, I thought it was just going to be me and Netter, and she's calling me the love of her life. But then we get a salute from Deleted Scenes. And Daniel Barry's Sports Highlights comes back after having been around earlier on tonight. Deleted Scene says, like, share, subscribe, become a member, gift a membership just like Netter does. Thank you so much, both of you. You guys are wonderful. And Rancor Steve, haven't seen you in a minute. Glad to see you here. Going to jump into some Doctor Who in just a moment. There's Mark, just getting home from the dilithium mines. That metal grinding is about being sharpened for more cuts this coming week. Yep, I saw the article you sent me. That's pretty much your prediction was spot on because Mark, like Troy, almost always right. Almost always right. All right, I'm just queuing it up right now. Give me just a second here, and I will get us started. Share the screen with sound because you're going to need to hear it. Let me shrink this down, blow this up. And we'll get started in just a second. Make sure I haven't missed anybody. I don't think so. So let me go back to my description here because unfortunately I didn't have the intro loaded up. So the Doctor, while attempting to control the TARDIS's faulty navigation circuits, causes a small explosion. The Doctor, Barbara, Ian, and Susan are temporarily rendered unconscious. After they awake, Ian and Susan appear to have slight cases of amnesia, and everyone begins to act strangely. Gradually, it becomes clear that the strange events are an attempt by the TARDIS itself to warn them that something is wrong. But what's not wrong is seeing Nate in the chat saying, like, share, subscribe, comment, become a member, and if you were going to give a super chat of $5 or more, why not consider making that a gifted membership instead to alleviate. There you go. And being right isn't always fun. No, when you see bad things on the horizon, you hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it does no good to hide the truth. Better to heed the warning and minimize the damage. Speaking of damage, let's see what kind of damage the Doctor has done to the TARDIS. We're going to go ahead and get going. The link is pinned to the top of the chat so that you can watch along with us. Oh, I guess I should bring up my Cosme up on the big screen here. Let me do that. Cosme. There we go. And I got to launch it here so I can see what's going on. My rooms, Doctor Who. There we go. All right. And so now, let's get started. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, take off. Classic Doctor Who opening. BBC radiophonic sounds. So again, the Doctor and party have just left Starro. After their first encounter with the Daleks, and then boom, big explosion. No cloister bells, however. That won't come until years later. So I think you're going to catch on to this rather quickly. This whole story takes place within the TARDIS. As you can guess, it was probably budgetary reasons. This is the only complete serial in Doctor Who to only feature the regular cast with no guest actors appearing. Also, this is the first Doctor Who story to have not needed an episode to be reshot or remade. We've talked about that with the previous two series.
Were they drugged or something?
They've been hit in the head or received some other sort of cerebral damage. She probably has some sort of a hematoma, pressure on the brain, and she's got some amnesia. The director originally signed for this serial was Patty Russell, one of the first female directors at the BBC. Russell was not available for the studio dates, however, and Doctor Who's associate producer, Mervyn Pinfield, was suggested as her replacement. The Edge of Destruction and Brink of Disaster are sometimes collectively called Inside the Spaceship or Inside the TARDIS. What do Dalek politicians say? Legislate. Legislate. Yep, he's got a thinking problem too. Bonjour, Nate. Good to see you. The cloister bell sounding warns of an impending cloister fuck. Yeah, exactly. His hearts, plural. This is before they decided that there should be more than one heart. Why isn't the water working? Let's see.
That's a bandage?
Apparently so. Okay, this is the piece of information that I was missing. The story was written to make up the allotted number of episodes and meet the show's commitment to the BBC. The series was initially commissioned for 13 episodes. An Unearthly Child had 4, the Daleks had 7, and an additional 2 episodes were required in case the show should be canceled at this point. Indeed, during the production of An Unearthly Child, Donald Baverstock of the BBC did, in fact, cancel the series, with The Brink of Disaster earmarked as the final episode as a result, but he later relented. This story marks the first time the Doctor indicates on screen that his TARDIS might be sentient, though in An Unearthly Child, Ian at one point explained it's alive when he first touches its exterior. There is nothing to indicate that the Doctor himself isn't aware that the TARDIS matrix being alive, but as the series progresses, more clues are given to the viewer, with the third Doctor stating at one point that the TARDIS is alive. A full indication of this for viewers does not occur until the Doctor's wife, when the conscious entity within the TARDIS assumes a host body and speaks to the Doctor directly, confirming to viewers her sentience. The Doctor is already aware of this, but up to that story had assumed it would be impossible to communicate in traditional fashion with the TARDIS. Verity Lambert had to write a letter of apology after the BBC Children's Department made it known they felt it was an unwise decision to show Susan attacking out violently with a pair of scissors. Hey, welcome, Gorilla's Random Thoughts. Yeah, the only reason I don't do them earlier is because I want to, be mindful of deleted scenes. Usual Sunday night show. Haven't been at the Liquid Lunches. Apparently, no one edge ground or polished while I was on vacation, so I have been swamped. I understand. So there's a little joke there too. Um, um, William Hartnell decided to play a joke on the cast, who often teased him when he messed up his lines during one take of that scene there. When he was supposed to say the fault locator, he instead said the fornicator. But again, that was intentional. Interestingly, this is the first story to not feature a main antagonist of any kind. The closest this story has to a villain is Susan and the Doctor. I'm glad I thought of that. This remains the cheapest Doctor Who story ever made, coming in at £2,500.
Well, if they've got one set and they're not going anywhere, yeah.
William Hartnell initially complained about the script due to the number of lines that he received, while Carol Ann Ford was skeptical of the character appearing mad without reason. Conversely, Jacqueline Hill and William Russell appreciated the chance to explore their characters in more depth. While not a valid source uh, in canon, the Doctor Who role playing game provides an explanation for Ian only sensing a single heartbeat for the unconscious Doctor. The first Doctor has the trait faulty heart, which was a bad failure. On a bad failure results in unconsciousness for a number of minutes with only a single heart beating. Shatner's gonna shat. Yeah, we were talking about that on Geeky Geezers. They're coming to get you, Bob.
Okay, why would him turning on the scanners make
Just-
her react like that?
I don't know. I think they were. I think it was like Ian was concerned before about him being electrocuted by the.
Uh, because the doors are getting wonky.
This Dick Van Dyke episode is weird. Well, what planet is that?
I rather like that she's calling out the doctor,
Oh, yeah.
going, "We wouldn't be in this situation if it wasn't for you."
Which establishes the role of the companions from here on to kind of be a conscience to the doctor.
Yeah, because the doctor's like, "Oh, it's not me." It's like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
it really
yeah,
is
it
your
is.
fault."
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Which is probably why when Matt Smith's character of the doctor says, "I'm the doctor, look me up," they get scared because it's like, "Oh no, not this
Yeah.
fucktard."
Yeah, exactly. If you're not going to eat your popcorn, can I have it? There you go. Time for a timeout. Yeah, exactly. Tea, finally. I wonder if that food tray is like from the BBC commissary. That seems a little creepy. So, during recording, a slight change was made in the adventure's climax, having Barbara alone deducing that the TARDIS was trying to communicate with its passengers, whereas originally this achievement was shared with Ian. In rehearsal, the resolution of the crisis was made more exciting. The script was simply described the Doctor flipping the fast return switch to save the TARDIS.
Well, these people faint easy.
I know, right? Hartnell, I flubbed the line, man. Do another take, director. Keep rolling. A lot of it does come off that way. Yeah, they did minimize the amount of retakes because of budgetary concerns.
But didn't you say this like cost them like $2,500?
Yeah, this
Or
was the cheapest
pounds?
pounds. Yeah, proper money. So you were right. He did slip him a Mickey. Because that's the title. About 10 minutes left in the episode, so yeah. Excuse me.
So apparently Barbara's the clever one here.
Yes. Bad Bunny is outside. Beware. Doctor Who en Espanol. So why is it showing those? It's showing the same images. And then kablooey. I mean, pretty much, Nate.
Fast return. So make sure you wrote with marker fast return.
Yeah, there's a trivia factoid here about that. Um, where is it? The fast return switch label on the TARDIS console appears to be written in felt tip pen. Exactly why this was done is uncertain. Raymond Cusick guessed that it was written during rehearsal as a guide, while Verity Lambert surmises that it may have been written so that William Hartnell could find the switch during the recording. Both agree that the label was probably never intended to be seen on screen. Carol Ann Ford states that both she and Hartnell labeled the controls on the TARDIS control panel during rehearsal and assumed the label would be removed before production. I would find it humorous if future incarnations of the Doctor had a felt tip marker that, you know, with writing saying, fast return over a switch. I always wondered if that wasn't like the first sonic screwdriver.
So basically, the switch is broken and you had to fix it.
Yep. She's not so forgiving. She just wants to go home.
I didn't understand that. He said, which? Which what?
He's saying, which switch should I throw?
That's probably her own coat. I know in a lot of these older shows, they actually wore their own
A lot
clothes.
of times they did, yeah. That's pretty cool, Mark.
Bigfoot.
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to get any resolution on that particular thing because from here we go to the roof of the world. The TARDIS arrives on Earth in the 13th century, where it is claimed by famed explorer Marco Polo as a gift for his employer Kublai Khan. Polo hopes to finally buy his way out of service, but if he succeeds, the Doctor and his friends will never be able to get back to their ship ever again. This starts I want to say, 7-part, basically 3 weeks for us. Marco Polo story series. It is a bit of lost media, so what I will be presenting to you is a reconstruction of those episodes. Again, every single one of these Doctor Who episodes, the sound still exists, the audio, but they have lost, for many of them, the visuals. So what does exist are telesnaps, photographs that they took during the production, which can be put together in something of a slideshow to cover the episodes. Some of these can be very difficult because it's almost like listening to an audio drama with just some visualizations. But we're going to do our best. So next week, Marco Polo.
Marco
Polo. There you go. And with that, I want to thank all of you that were able to stay up with us this late. This is part of the fun of Doctor Who for me anyway, is the staying up late. But I'm going to let you get to bed because I know many of you have to get to work tomorrow, and I have to get ready for Liquid Lunch tomorrow. So I want to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight. Take care of yourselves. Get a good night's sleep. Stay hydrated, drink responsibly, and of course, I'll see you all on the next one. Bye-bye.
One day, I shall come back. Yes, I shall come back. Until then, there must be no regrets, no tears, no anxieties. Just go forward in all your beliefs and prove to me that I am not mistaken in mine.